I was there. I remember that day in D.C. when you testified before Congress. It was so hot. I sweat through my entire suit. It was one of the hottest days I've ever experienced in Washington. But I'm
sure. And you were not in the hot seat.
And I was not in the hot seat. It was you, and you did a great job. I think I would have been much more frustrated than you. Did that experience then sort of like working so hard and then having it sort of like, basically shut down, for lack of a better word?
Yeah.
Walk us through that experience and like what it maybe taught you as just as an entrepreneur.
It was time, and I think a lot of us had this feeling that it was really time for a real-time payment protocol for the internet. And the fact that we were still, and we are still now in 2023, moving the vast majority of value around the world on infrastructure that was built in the late 60s and 70s feels inadequate and infuriating, frankly. The problem was that we tried to keep this thing under wraps for as long as possible. But then there were rumors left and right, and all of the rumors were actually a lot worse than what we were actually doing.
I think a lot of people listening are probably thinking, who's to say, or what's not to say, that something like that couldn't happen to any company building in crypto? Let's say Bitcoin scales to 3.5 billion people. Some organization, some alphabet soup agency might become uncomfortable with, I don't know, the block or CleanSpark, probably more so CleanSpark.
Building on top of open protocols is actually a really good thing. But I think it's beyond that. I think the real question is actually, if you have real decentralization and you have a number of companies that are building on top of a protocol that solves real world problems, reduces costs of payments and transactions for people all around the world. That's the thing that really was hard for me. It was not failing at launching Libra or Diem, if you prefer to call it that, but it was the fact that we talked to so many people around the world and even in the US that really badly needed this. So that's what gets us going, right? It's like, trying to solve that underlying infrastructure problem, modernize our rails so that everyone can actually benefit from digital payments the way it should actually work in the world today.